shock. You won't believe it, but every time you hit the like button on social media, you're doing something that almost no one thinks about. What if I told you that this simple gesture could have profound consequences for your spiritual life and personal growth? Today, we're going to reveal the hidden truths about what really happens when you like a post and how it affects your soul. Stay with us until the end to learn how to take back control of your life and find true inner peace. Don't switch off. This is important for you and your spiritual way. Did you know that every time you press like, it leaves a mark on your self-esteem? Likes on social media have become a measure of popularity and recognition. They can significantly impact how we perceive ourselves. Studies show that the number of likes is directly related to self-esteem levels. When we receive many likes, we feel more confident and valued. However, the lack of likes can lead to feelings of rejection and decreased self-worth. It's essential to understand that a person's true value isn't measured by the number of online approvals they receive. But that's just the beginning. Let's delve into the pressure that arises from the pursuit of approval. What drives us to press like over and over, even if it doesn't align with our true desires? Social media creates the illusion of universal approval, pushing us to strive for it constantly. This leads to continuous self-comparison with others, which can cause feelings of inadequacy and stress. The pursuit of approval often forces us to alter our behavior and content to meet others' expectations rather than our own beliefs. This dynamic can lead to a loss of authenticity and internal conflict. From comparison to emotional swings, how does social pressure affect our feelings? Why do those instant joys from likes often turn into long-term anxiety? Each like brings momentary satisfaction, but it is followed by a cyclical pursuit of more approvals. This creates emotional swings. Rapid mood boosts are followed by declines when expectations aren't met. The constant anticipation of positive feedback leads to chronic stress and anxiety, as we can never achieve the perfect level of approval. This state hinders us from finding sustainable happiness and fulfillment outside the digital world. Now that we've understood the psychological aspects, let's see how likes relate to our spiritual values. Can modern like habits contradict our Christian values? Christianity calls us to authenticity and sincerity in our actions. The constant pursuit of likes can divert us from true spiritual goals, making us focus on external recognition instead of inner growth. In Romans 12:2, we are called to transform our minds, implying a rejection of conforming to this world. Modern digital habits often lure us into a world of superficial interactions, which contradicts deep biblical principles. But how exactly do these contradictions manifest in our lives? Let's look at biblical examples. What can the parable of the talents teach us about our digital lives? The parable of the talents from the Gospel of Matthew emphasizes the importance of responsibility and sincerity in our actions. Just as servants are accountable for multiplying the talents they received, we are accountable for how we use our resources and time in the digital world. If we focus solely on getting likes instead of using social media for genuine service and spreading goodness, we lose our spiritual purpose. This parable reminds us of the need for intentional and mindful approaches to our online interactions. The importance of intentions brings us to the ethical aspects of using likes. Can likes push us towards lies and pride? Likes can create pressure to appear better than we actually are. This can lead to lying and pretense as we strive to gain more approvals. Additionally, the number of likes can fuel pride, making us believe we are more significant or successful than we truly are. Such behaviors contradict Christian principles of humility and honesty. It's important to recognize these risks and strive for authenticity instead of seeking external validation through likes. Now that we've explored the spiritual and ethical aspects, let's look into the hidden consequences of likes. How can likes undermine your spiritual practices and personal growth? When we constantly strive for likes, we distract ourselves from deep spiritual practices such as prayer, meditation, and reflecting on Scripture. The time and energy spent maintaining our online presence can take away opportunities for self-development and spiritual growth. This creates a barrier between us and our inner world, hindering us from attaining true inner peace and harmony. Moreover, constant interaction with social networks can lead to addiction. Can constant use of social media hinder your spiritual development? Social media addiction is becoming an increasingly prevalent issue, affecting our time and attention. Constant notifications and the need to stay updated distract us from important spiritual tasks. This addiction can lead to a loss of focus on our spiritual goals and diminish our capacity for self-development. It's crucial to set boundaries and find a balance between online activity and spiritual life to avoid this hindrance. This addiction also creates emotional and spiritual conflicts, which we will discuss further. Why do you feel guilty after every like? Every like press can create internal conflict, especially if we know that this action contradicts our true values. We may feel guilty for seeking external approval instead of following our spiritual convictions. These emotional and spiritual contradictions hinder us from achieving inner peace and harmony. It's important to recognize these feelings and work on overcoming them through spiritual practices and self-reflection. Now that we've explored the hidden consequences, let's look at how the Bible can offer solutions. How can Philippians 4:8 help you control your digital world? Philippians 4:8 calls us to think about what is true, honest, just, and pure. Applying this principle to our online content means filtering what we watch and like. It helps us focus on positive and uplifting content, avoiding negative and distracting factors. This approach fosters spiritual growth and strengthens our faith, making our digital lives more mindful and purposeful. Filtering content is the first step towards creating healthy habits. How can simple prayers and meditations strengthen your spiritual resilience? Creating healthy habits, such as regular prayer and meditation, helps us strengthen our spiritual resilience. These practices allow us to detach from the noise of social media and focus on our inner world. Prayer helps us establish a connection with God, receive spiritual guidance, and calm the mind. Meditation fosters mindfulness and inner peace, reducing stress and enhancing our ability to cope with external pressures. Integrating these practices into daily life promotes deep spiritual growth and harmony. Healthy habits lay the foundation for responsible use of social networks. What steps can help you use social media mindfully and responsibly? Responsible use of social media begins with awareness and setting personal boundaries. Here are some practical steps. First, set time limits. Limit the amount of time spent on social media to avoid addiction. Second, curate content. Pay attention to what you like and follow. Choose content that inspires and supports your spiritual values. Third, practice digital detox. Regularly schedule periods without social media to restore inner balance. Fourth, be mindful. Before liking or sharing, consider the motives and consequences of your actions. Fifth, seek support. Connect with people who share your values and help maintain healthy habits. By following these tips, you can create a more mindful and spiritually enriching online environment.